Hello and welcome back to Outside Views. Today we're delving into a controversial and deeply troubling topic: the increasing alignment between influential figures like Elon Musk and extreme right-wing narratives. And this issue raises critical questions about the current state of global politics, the responsibility of powerful voices, and how this impacts societies struggling with post-Brexit challenges and the resurgence of far-right ideologies. So let's unpack this step by step. Recently, Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and owner of the social media platform X, voiced public support for Tommy Robinson, a far-right British activist currently imprisoned for spreading false information about refugees. And this is not an isolated incident. It's part of a larger pattern where Musk has used his platform to amplify divisive and extreme rhetoric. His tweet simply stating "Free Tommy" not only attracted global attention but also gave credibility to someone who has long been associated with hate speech and xenophobia. It's worth noting that even Nigel Farage, a prominent figure in Brexit and a political provocateur himself, has distanced himself from Robinson in the past. Farage has accused Robinson of associating with violent criminals and damaging the credibility of movements seeking to limit immigration. When someone like Farage, who's no stranger to controversial and divisive statements, deems a figure too extreme, it raises serious questions about the implications of Musk's action. But let's take a step back and examine the broader historical context of this issue. The rise of the far right in the UK and across Europe is not happening in a vacuum. It has roots in economic inequalities, cultural anxieties, and political failures that have simmered for decades. In the UK, the 2016 Brexit referendum served as a flashpoint, revealing deep divisions within the country. The Leave campaign, spearheaded by figures like Farage, capitalized on fears about immigration and national sovereignty. While Farage played a central role in pushing Brexit over the line, his rhetoric remained focused on mainstreaming nationalism rather than endorsing outright extremism. Tommy Robinson, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, represents a far more radical element. Robinson has built his reputation on anti-Muslim propaganda, often disguising hate speech as free speech. His actions, such as spreading false claims about refugees, has led to legal consequences, including his current imprisonment for defamation. These activities go beyond political discourse. They actively harm social cohesion and fuel division. Musk's endorsement of Robinson is troubling for several reasons. First, Musk is not just a private citizen. He's a billionaire with a platform that reaches over 200 million followers on X. When he lends his voice to such causes, it amplifies the reach and perceived legitimacy of extremist narratives. Second, Musk's pattern of engaging with right-wing figures isn't limited to the UK. He has openly supported the German extremist right party AfD and has made inflammatory statements about European leaders, including German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier. What makes Musk's actions particularly dangerous is the context in which they occur. Europe, including the UK, is grappling with rising far-right movements, economic uncertainties, and social tensions. By aligning himself with extreme voices, Musk is effectively pouring fuel on a fire that threatens democratic institutions and social stability. In the UK, Prime Minister Keir Starmer has come under fire from Musk as well. Musk accused Starmer of failing to address grooming gangs during his tenure as Director of Public Prosecutions, despite evidence to the contrary. And these attacks serve to undermine trust in political leaders and institutions, creating a vacuum that far-right figures are eager to fill. And meanwhile, across the Atlantic, Donald Trump, the incoming US president, has also added to the chaos. Trump's recent call for the UK to dismantle offshore wind farms and return to North Sea oil drilling is emblematic of his climate skepticism and broader disregard for scientific consensus. This rhetoric aligns with Musk's own criticisms of renewable energy policies, further connecting these two influential figures in their efforts to roll back progress on climate action. The implications of these developments are profound. the alignment of high-profile figures like Musk and Trump with far-right ideologies reflect a broader trend of populism and anti-establishment sentiment gaining traction worldwide. This trend thrives on disinformation, fear-mongering, and the exploitation of legitimate grievances for political gain. But why does this matter for the UK, particularly in a post-Brexit context? Brexit was sold to voters as a way to reclaim control and strengthen the nation's sovereignty. Instead, it has left the UK economically weakened and politically fractured. The promise of a stronger, independent Britain has not materialized, leaving many disillusioned. And in this environment, extremist narratives find fertile ground. Farage's distancing from Robinson is a tactical move reflecting his understanding of where the limits of public tolerance lie. However, Musk's actions show no such restraint. By endorsing figures like Robinson, Musk legitimizes the most extreme fringes of political discourse, pushing boundaries in ways even Farage would not dare. And to understand the gravity of this situation, we must examine broader trends. Far-right movements are not just gaining ground in the UK and Germany, they are part of a global wave. From the success of leaders like Viktor Orban in Hungary to the influence of Jair Bolsonaro in Brazil, the far-right's rhetoric has become increasingly normalized. And this trend threatens to erode democratic values, not through sudden upheaval, but through a gradual chipping away at trust in institutions, laws, and norms. And let's also consider the role of social media platforms in this equation. Platforms like X have become echo chambers for extremist ideologies. And while Musk claims to support free speech, his action suggests a willingness to amplify hate speech under the guise of an open dialogue. And this creates an environment where misinformation spreads rapidly, further polarizing societies and undermining efforts to foster constructive debate. What makes this even more concerning is the intersection of technology and politics. Figures like Musk are not just amplifying far-right voices, they are shaping the technological frameworks within which these ideologies are disseminated. Algorithms designed to maximize engagement often prioritize sensationalist content given extremist narratives an outsized platform. This technological influence compounds the political challenges, creating a feedback loop that is difficult to break. So what can be done to counteract these troubling trends? First, we must demand accountability from influential figures like Musk. Owning a platform as powerful as X comes with responsibilities. Promoting hate speech and extremist narratives, it's not a neutral act, it has real-world consequences. Second, governments and civil society must strengthen efforts to combat disinformation. This includes investing in education, fostering media literacy, and holding social media platforms accountable for the content they amplify. Additionally, laws regulating hate speech and disinformation need to be enforced rigorously. The challenge lies in balancing these efforts with the protection of legitimate free speech. And finally, mainstream political parties must address the root causes that drive people toward extremist ideologies. This means tackling economic inequality, improving public services, and fostering a sense of community and belonging. When people feel heard and supported, they are less likely to turn to divisive and extremist narratives. In conclusion, Elon Musk's actions represent a dangerous escalation in the normalization of far-right narratives. By aligning himself with figures like Tommy Robinson, Musk is not just amplifying hate, he's undermining the democratic values that underpin society. As troubling as this is, it also serves as a wake-up call for all of us to stand up against extremism and advocate for a more inclusive and equitable future. So thank you for watching once again, and if you found this analysis insightful, please like and subscribe to the channel, and of course let me know your thoughts in the comments below the video. How should society respond to the growing influence of far-right ideologies and their high-profile supporters? We'll be back soon with more in-depth discussions on the fight for democracy and post-Brexit Britain. Until then, take care, stay informed, and the next video is right here in the end screen.